This is Hard Street with Benny.
Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Hard Street Podcast right here with me, Benny. Yes, I'm so excited to be back as always. And of course, you know how we do right here at Hard Street. We have a heart of gratitude, and I'd like to say thank you so much for sticking with me till now. And I want to really appreciate you for being here again to listen to this podcast. It's been a journey, really. It's been a journey. There were times when I didn't even know what I was going to come and talk about, but somehow, I feel like with each episode, I somehow just find my rhythm back, and I'm here. So yeah, thank you so much for sticking around. And today on Hard Street Podcast, the conversation is actually about gratitude and talking about the little miracles. There was this movie I saw one year. Oh my God, I cannot really remember the name of this movie, but I think it was a Christian movie, very old movie back in 2015 or thereabout. And the movie had, I think Queen Latifah was part of that movie, because she's like the star actress I could remember. And it was of this little girl who fell into a tree. I don't know if you can relate to the movie, but I know that it's a movie that lots of people have seen as well. This little girl who had an accident, she fell into a tree, and then they tried to, bring her out. And at the time, it looked like, wait, am I mixing up movies here? Because there's this movie of a little girl who fell into a tree. She was playing with her sister, and then she fell into a tree. And they were trying to bring her out, and it took the emergency team a while to bring her out. And whoever would have been in that tree for that long would have died. But somehow she made it. Now there's that movie. And then there's another movie that comes to my head right now, where this little girl who had a protruding stomach, her stomach just kept on getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then they had to go to the hospital and all of that. And, they were Christians as well. They go to church. I think they had a farm. If you can relate, or if you can remember any of these movies, I just hope I'm not mixing them up. But the point that I'm trying to make is that I remember towards the end of the movie, right? Towards the end of the movie, there was something that the narrator said towards the end of the movie, and that is actually the key focus of this episode today. Basically trying to walk down through the journey of how the girl finally got her miracle, she was finally healed, and all of that. And the narrator said something. The narrator said, miracles are everywhere. Miracles are everywhere. Sometimes as humans, we get so engrossed in the challenges that life throws at us that we don't even get to see that miracles are everywhere. A miracle can be you waking up in the morning. That's the biggest miracle that we don't even realize. Do you know that? A miracle could be as simple as going out to work or your place of business and coming back in one piece. I remember my friend in 2024, July precisely. I think this had happened on I cannot remember the date exactly now, but I know it was in July of 2024, where my friend, who was an NDLEA officer, went to work in the morning like every other normal person. He was very healthy. He woke up, he went to work, he got a call that there were some bandits in the street, and then he went out to work. He never made it back. They got into a fight with the bandits, and he was shot at. And he didn't make it. His team took him to the hospital, and he died. Getting to the hospital, he didn't make it. He died. Till date, that's one of the most difficult things for me to process. And I remember my friend of how lively and how bubbly he was, and for you to tell me that he just died just like that, not even a headache. And the funny thing about life, when I heard that my friend died, I genuinely was thinking that what had happened, because I didn't even bother to ask what had happened. I was still in shock. And then I asked, but what happened? Like, what I was expecting them to tell me was maybe he had an accident, because I know he drives, and I know how much he loved to, especially in an expressway, he loved to, speed a little. So I genuinely thought that it was going to be an accident. But when I heard that he was shot, I said, what? My friend was shot? He went to work in the morning like every other person, and he didn't make it back alive? Life is crazy. And this episode focuses on the tiniest miracles that we overlook in life. The tiniest. It's the little things, really. Going out and coming back, truly, it's overrated. It is overrated. It is underrated, I beg your pardon. Underrated, I meant to say. We underrate the fact that going out and coming back in one piece is a blessing. Waking up in the morning is a blessing. Being able to afford what to eat is a blessing. Being able to afford data is a blessing. Being able to be healthy, the fact that for some of us, we've not been to the hospital in years, in months, it's a blessing. That you have every member of your family seated at every, point, every different phases of their life, or like any location they are in, is a blessing. The fact that you have friends that you get to call to say, hey, how you doing? I was just thinking of checking up on you. It's a blessing. We neglect this blessing that God has given us because we're looking at the big things. I woke up one morning and there was a particular desire in my heart, and I've actually been asking God for this particular thing since I think June or July, because I don't know when we got to almost the middle of the year, the urge, or now should I say the desire for that particular thing started to increase, especially when I see the old thing that I'm asking God to replace with a new thing. So when I see the old thing staring at me every morning, I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of you. I want to change you. And so I'm asking God, I'm like, God, please, can I just have this? Help me, have resources to be able to have this and all of that. But I was so consumed. I think one morning I was really so consumed by the desire for that particular thing I wanted. And I didn't realize that, look, even though you don't have this, there's an alternative right now. And that alternative is the biggest blessing, because if you don't even have this other one, there's an alternative, life would really, really be something else right now. And I just realized that this whole mindset of complain, we need to give it a break. We do. This whole mindset of, oh, I need this, I need that. Oh, I need to sort this out. I need to sort this out. My life is not yet in shape. I don't have this. I don't have that. We need to give it a break. When you listen to this episode, what I want you to do now is bring out a pen and a paper. It's just a little exercise. Write down 10 things that you're grateful for. And those 10 things are not even things that money can buy. Right? They are not like things that you can buy with money. Just 10 of them. Write it down. Yes, when you look at your life right now, they exist. Trust me, they do. 10 things that you have, and it's not even money. It's not even about, oh, I bought this, I bought that. No, just 10. Write it down. And probably when you write it down, before you go to bed every night, look at it, read it again. And then you would know that God is really good. There's a particular song I used to sing growing up. I grew up with the song, and I don't know if you know the song, but if you know the song, let's sing along. Disclaimer, I'm not in the choir. And so because I'm not in the choir, I don't expect my voice to sound the best. But I'm going to sing anyway because it's my podcast. Hello. All right, let's go. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count out your blessings. Name them one by one. And it will surprise you what the Lord has done. Woo! I made it to the end of the song. Glory. You know, some of us had to run away from the choir because, that's a lot. It's a lot. Shout out to all the choristers that are going to listen to this to this podcast. I beg your pardon. But anyways, the point is being grateful. Gratitude, basically. The little things. It's the little things that matter. It's very important that we don't let the vicissitudes of life take out the blessings that we have. It's so important. It's so important. Think of it this way. If you don't have shoes, but at least you have to be grateful for the fact that you have legs and feet. Oh yes. At every point in life, there's definitely something to be grateful to God for. And we shouldn't lose that joy. I think it was the other day we were having a conversation with my friend, and my friend Emmanuel said this. He said, never lose your joy. You have to be intentional about deciding that your joy will always be full, because there's so much in the world right now that wants to point us to always focus on our problems, but your joy must always be full. Make sure that you never lose your joy. It's the little things. It's really the little things. One day I looked at myself, and of course, being the fact that I sometimes overthink, and I was asking myself, but I don't have this. I'm supposed to be this. I'm supposed to be that. And then I did a little bit of trip down memory lane, and I realized that, but this place I am now in itself is an answered prayer. If I'm being very honest with myself, this place I am now is an answered prayer, because there was a time I was praying to God to get here, and now I'm here. Yes, of course, man's want is insatiable. As we continue to grow, there's definitely going to be that hunger to want better, to become, to do this, to do that. But never you lose that joy of gratitude and contentment. Contentment is that attitude that says, I'm okay here, even if I dream big, even if I want more, even if I want better, but this place right now is beautiful too. That's contentment. So, it's the little blessings actually. That's what counts. And remember that even as children of God, even as believers, there's always that desire, or should I say, there's always that instruction for us to always rejoice. And Paul says, rejoice, I say unto you again, rejoice. Just make sure you are rejoicing. Just be thankful. Gratitude, really, gratitude. And just like they say, gratitude opens more doors. It does open doors. So what I want you to do today is write down those things that you're grateful for, look back at your life, and see that God has been good to you. God has been good to you in 1,000 ways, more than you can imagine. He's been so good to you. It's the little things. Yeah. And that's it. And so if you are looking for a sign that says, oh, you're such an overthinker, I think you should relax a bit. This is the sign. This is it. This episode is that sign. This podcast is that sign. Be grateful for the little things that God has done for you. Even as you dream big, even as you aspire to perspire to acquire. Okay, scratch that. But you get the point. You get the point, right? Thank you so much for being part of this episode. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Till this point. Gratitude is an attitude that we must cultivate. And it's in the little things. So look around you today and see something in your life that is worth being thankful for. So this is me wrapping things up on this episode. Of course, thank you for being here. And I know that you get to hear from me again very soon. Yeah, very soon, hopefully. But thank you so much for being here. This is Heart Street Podcast. Of course, you could check my other episodes. I've talked about different things really, and I know that there's definitely going to be one that's going to resonate with you as you listen. Don't forget to carry the mood of gratitude today. All right, so you get to hear from me again. I'll see you soon. I love you. Thank you. Bye.
This episode of Heart Street with Benny was proudly brought to you by Imagine Studios 116.